Welcome to my show. I'm a guest here. His name is Joe Tabeling. Mr. Joe, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm fine, thank you very much. And also, thanks so much for the time and the opportunity, Mr. Joe. Firstly, you are the president of EG Energy Insight, and you're also the creator of Drug and Violence Awareness Expo. Can you please, Mr. Joe, discuss more about yourself and how you are doing currently now, Mr. Joe?
Just had my 69th birthday. Hard to believe, but doing well. I am excited about the things that I do. I affectionately say that I save people money with their utilities, and I save lives through my Drug and Violence Awareness Expo. So everything's wonderful.
Very, very beautiful. Through the help of the drug that we've had, that has made a lot of people also live more longer. And also the part of books, which I would like to drive to. If you've probably, written any book, or if you are probably planning to write any book, have you written any book, or are you planning to write any book in the coming future, Mr. Joe?
Um, there's always a possibility of that. I am not a writer. I honestly very seldom read books. I guess as I get older, I'll slow down and start to do that. But I have too much energy to sit around. I did write a book about 25 years ago, which was called Brain Food. And it is food for thought to basically uh, inspire folks to stay positive. It was a I should say, a creative story that they're all original stories, and they're one-page stories, 365 original stories that give people a positive attitude to start the day with. So I'm actually talking with a publicist now to republish that book and put it out there. I think it's uh, needed more than ever in this day and age with everything that's been going on in our world. There's a lot of things that tear us down, and anything that we can get out there for folks to have more hope and more help, like what you do, is desperately needed.
Completely agree. The world is in a very big, no, I would like to just say a little mess. Honestly speaking, it is not easy, despite the fact that we have tried our best to build things that we hope will bring more prosperity, more unity, and more values. But despite every one of it, we also try to try our best to look for ways we can also prevent a lot of things that can go by it also, which could cause trauma, suicidal thoughts, people not happy, and people feeling more disconnected. So we help as people, and also what I do are one of the things that can help people to be inspired and also help themselves in one way or the other. Also, I would like to drive to the point of trauma because trauma is something that I think more than 50% people who have brought, from the point of 2002 above have really experienced in time. So many listeners have either experienced trauma first and or probably who has also experienced something like that. How do you think they can begin to recognize the hidden impacts of violence on the body, the mind, and the spirits, Mr. Joe?
Well, trauma often shows up long before a person is able to name it. It can appear as a chronic tension in the body, trouble sleeping, sudden emotional reactions, or feeling disconnected from oneself or others. Mentally, it may look like difficulties focusing, constant worry, or replaying painful events. Spiritually, people may feel lost, numb, or disconnected from their purpose or values. Recognizing these signals without judgment is the first step towards healing.
Thank you so much for the insight, Mr. Joe. And also, this kinds of trauma or this sense of issues that we've had in our time today have also caused a lot of things that have also been on an uprise, violence, and also rise in addiction. So violence and addiction often exist together. How do you think one can communicate? Okay, how do you think communities can also address both the pain and the behavior that arise from unhealed trauma, Mr. Joe?
Well, what I would say is that one of the issues is that we have to focus on is young people. Trauma can look like behavioral problems when it's really fear or confusion. Signs including withdrawing from friends, sudden mood changes, perfectionism, unexplained anger, or decline in school performance. In families, unaddressed trauma can show up as constant tension, inconsistent communication, or avoidance in certain topics. These are early signs, are invitations to look deeper, not to blame.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joe. That shows that trauma is a aspect that it shows up in different ways. That shows that we are all different beings, we are all different natures, and we also come from different backgrounds. And despite the backgrounds we come from, there are definitely different ways trauma shows up. Whether you do not sleep well, or whether it's through hunger, or whether it's through some kind of reaction that comes right at the front of us. When it comes to the point of trauma, it comes out, and we also try our best, also as humans, to try to recognize when we are having the situations because we might not even be aware that it is even the point of trauma. Even some people, trauma could even make them really down to the point that they really, really fall sick and also get them to the point whereby they do what they are not meant to do at the right moment. These are triggers that we should try our best to also recognize. And also for listeners who could be supporting loved ones who have been through abuse, because abuse is also one of the common things that can also cause something that's we call trauma. How do you think they can also offer compassion without enabling or re-traumatizing the person they want to help, Mr. Joe?
Well, it's I would say the first steps are often, gentle ones, acknowledging that something is hurting them, allowing yourself to feel without shame, and finding a safe place, a safe person where you can express your truth. What's going on. Um, Grounding exercises and journaling, writing down, what's going on can help regulate the nervous system enough to begin that healing. Recovery doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't begin with big leaps. It's little things. It's small acts of safety and self compassion.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joe. That shows that there are different ways we can heal from trauma. There are different ways we can actually help ourselves. Despite we might not be in the position to find a companion or someone who care about us, someone who want to actually be there for us when we are having the sense of serious situation and anxiety in our life, we will be in a position whereby we can try our best to journal, we can try our best to do things even most especially the most beautiful thing, nature. Nature is one of the greatest healer. We can also try our best to be around nature that can also help us to also heal more faster and also try our best to embrace the sense of life that we find ourselves. And also there is something we call shame and silence. Shame is something people feel like, what if I say this? I might feel shamed, I might feel embarrassed. And also some people feel like silence sometimes also do help. And silence is one of the greatest killer because if one do not speak, how will one know something is wrong with you? It is when you speak, it is when you say, Mr. This, Mr. That, or Mr. Joe, I am facing this kind of situation. Do you think you can be a kind of help? That is when Mr. Joe will know, oh, I think so you're facing this kind of situation. So silence and shame keep many victims trapped. How do you think individuals and community can break the stigma around speaking up about trauma and violence, Mr. Joe?
We need to break the stigma by normalizing the conversation. That means openly discussing mental health, hosting community dialogues, teaching trauma awareness in schools, and amplifying survivor stories in safe, respectful ways. When leaders, educators, and trusted community members speak openly, it gives others permission to do the same. Silence protects harm, conversation protects people.
That is so inspiring, to be honest with you. That shows that for others to actually try their best to say, I think I need to speak up, it starts from the people at the source. So if we are the person who is actually inspiring or speaking to people, we should be a source of light to them. We should try our best to open up and try our best to be more transparent. If we can do that, then it's give the sense of reflection back to us. It give that other side to be in the position whereby he or she will be able to open up and also say one or two things he or she could want to say at that certain moment. And that goes back to the way we try our best to approach people and the way we actually bring up conversations with people. Because those conversations we are bringing out, we bring out the quality or we bring out the transparency and the reflection the other person has. Then when the other person sees those reflection and that person can say, okay, I think this person is saying this. Let me also bring it out. Let me also say this. Let me also see how I can also contribute. And let me also see how I can open up and also feel more free. Because the beauty of opening up and saying things, it's release a lot of tension in us. It's release a lot of load and a lot of weight in us, which is very, very necessary in the life we find ourselves most of the time in the time of the technology world we are today. And also, I would like to drive to the point whereby trauma, which doesn't affect individual, it also ripples through generations because what we face today, our children are coming, next generations are coming, upcoming, and how we deal with it today is also tells in the ones that are coming tomorrow. How do you think listeners can try their best to break generational cycles of pain and violence in their own families, Mr. Joe?
Breaking generational trauma begins with awareness, noticing patterns, naming them, and choosing differently. They may involve therapy, family conversations, practicing healthier communication, or setting boundaries that didn't exist before. Healing isn't about blaming previous generations, it's about honoring their struggles while choosing a new path for the future.
Thank you so much. Awareness. Those are the little things. We have to check on ourselves first. When we check on ourselves, then we can know how we can nurture others to follow the same path. So no matter what we are doing, no matter how we want our families or our companion or people who we do love to not face the sense of pain or pressure, we have to make sure that we ourselves are actually dealing with situation with more wisdom. When we deal with situation with more wisdom, then we can know how we can pass it to the next generation and see how we can also groom those ones to also continue those aspects as well. And we do know there are distractions. Nobody do know. Nobody believe that there will be technology today. Nobody even believe that I'll be talking to someone outside today. That is just how the world is sometimes. So we have to be prepared. We have to be prepared for the world sometimes. And we also have to try our best to maintain that sense, that thing that we've learned, so that we can pass it to the generation. Despite the distraction that might come around at that time, they will still continue to pass on the right thing, despite one or two things that come around those time. And also, recovery also takes courage and time. Because for someone to recover from pain, someone to recover from violence or anything like that, it usually takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of patience and time. So, what do you think from the experience you've had, Mr. Joe, are some of the powerful tools, mental and emotional or spiritual, that help survivors build self-worth and resilience, Mr. Joe?
Grounding practices, trauma informed therapy, mindfulness, community support, spiritual reflection or prayer, creative expression, and movement based healing, like yoga or walking, can all help reconnect people with their sense of worth. What matters most is consistency in finding tools that make the person feel safe, seen, and in control of their story.
Thank you so much. Sustainability. There are definitely many ways that we can try our best to heal ourselves, to bring back courage, to bring back strength back to us. Because when we are down, it isn't the end. When we are down, it gives us the time to realize a lot of things, discover new things, and also come back more stronger. So if we can try our best to use the time that we've had that has caused us a lot of damage or pain or a huge downside, we can also use that as an inspiration for recovery and also try our best to work on a lot of things that can also help us along the way. Finally, Mr. Joe, I would like to drive to the point of any listener who feels hopeless or stuck in their healing journey. They feel like they are alone, nobody is there for them. They feel like there is nothing that they can do as at the moment currently, and they could be listening. What message would you share to remind them that recovery and peace is still possible, Mr. Joe?
People have to remember healing is not a straight line, and feeling stuck does not mean you're broken. You are surviving something that was never meant to be carried alone. Even when you can't see progress, your courage is already evidence of healing. There is help, there is community, and there is hope, even if it feels far away today. You deserve peace, and you're not beyond repair. The next step doesn't need to be big, it only needs to be forward.
And I totally agree because even the world that we are, sometimes we can feel it in some certain ways, but there is still hope. No matter how tough, no matter how hard it is, no matter how the pain or the violence or anything that is behind our chest, no matter how the reaction comes out, there is still hope because that is the time that we can have the sense of belief that we can actually come back up and actually become much stronger and actually achieve a lot of things. Everything we see around us could be the light. But despite the light we see around us, there are a lot of people. There is no one that is not facing one or two things. And that is why we have to also try our best to work on ourselves and see how we can navigate because we should not have that belief that I am the only one facing the situation. It's not possible. There are those that are facing times 10 and they still actually try their best to survive from it. And that is the beauty. There is hope no matter the situation you are passing through currently. Finally, Mr. Joe, there is always a question I normally ask during the end of the show, Mr. Joe. From our forefathers, from our ancestors, there are a lot of beautiful things that do exist during our ancestral time that is missing in our time today. If there is anyone or anything you would like to bring back to our time today, Mr. Joe, what do you think that thing will be, Mr. Joe?
It's a good question. We went over a lot of amazing things in a short period of time, and I sincerely hope that the folks that watch this podcast either receive the hope and the wisdom that they need, or if they know somebody that is going through this, that they point them over to this podcast to get that guidance. Um, that's the biggest thing in this our world right now is every one of us need to help each other get through it. It's that simple.
That's it. We need to start to build bridges. We need to start to build a pathway because, as I said earlier, nobody believed that there would be this huge technology that we can just have today. And it is time for us to start to build the bridges. It is time for us to start to create things that will actually make people to feel connected, to feel loved, to have the sense of gratitude, and to have a reason to exist on earth. We shouldn't use it as a tool to oppress or make people in pain or make people feel like they are alone in the situation they are passing through. We need to start to build that bridges. And we do hope more things and more brighter things comes out in the future to make that bridges more strong enough for the generations who are coming in. Mr. Joe, I want to use this opportunity to thank you for the time, the opportunity you've given to me today. Trauma is everywhere. We are all facing trauma. Even I, as a podcast host, there are always issues, but we have to always try our best to deal with it wisely. Thank you so much, Mr. Joe.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. Have a wonderful day, Mr. Joe. Bye bye.
Take care.